Your thumbs ups and subscriptions help us move the progressive message forward. So please, as you watch this, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. You know, the mainstream media news is starting to do exactly what it did in 2016 and to some extent 2020, which gave Donald Trump sort of the popular support, never a majority, but gave him enough support that he's some sort of a viable candidate or that he's meritorious of the presidency. Today, listening to the morning shows was a bit more disappointing. But even before that, we had one of the MSM darlings like Mark Halperin coming out and, saying earlier on that Kamala Harris did not do interviews and she needed to do it. The whole mainstream media was complaining about that. She then gave an interview. And then they said, it was a boring interview. She flip-flopped, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Mark Halperin made an issue of it. Mark Halperin, the same Mark Halperin that seemed to have a problem with women politicians, with his generally sexist connotations, which this was no different. Anyway, I decided, you know what? I'm going to send them a message directly. And I said, media bros like Mark Halperin are pissed that Kamala Harris did well in the interview. They wanted Dana Bash to bloody her up in a catfight. The men and women carrying water for the MSM, the mainstream media, never had the balls to challenge Donald Trump, but would go after this WOC, women of color and women in general. They are always ready to attack the women. Well, again, continuing with this thing of the mainstream media not being pushed back. Tom Cotton appeared on Meet the Press. And while Christian Welker pushed back on some of the lies that he told, she still gave him too much latitude to spill these lies. And once this is on air, people give it some level of plausibility. Well, I sent her a tweet saying, thank you, Christian Welker, for pushing back on master liar, Senator Tom Cotton. But please, please, please stop giving them free airtime to spread lies. Shut the lies down and move on. Don't shut the lie down and allow them to continue. Stop allowing them to bully their message after you have called them out. Yes, she called them out, but she allowed them to refute her call out with more lies, and eventually it just didn't do the job it was supposed to do. Well, somebody got a little bit better. Ro Khanna came on, and he was better at it. When interviewing him, he defended Kamala Harris quite well, including the issue about flip-flopping on fracking, etc., and where it all made sense. But the problem is, unlike Cotton, Cotton turned every question into an attack on Kamala Harris. Every question that was given to Ro Khanna, he didn't use it as a counterattack on Trump. He came off as defensive of Kamala Harris. I think Democrats need to learn exactly how you fight on national TV when you have a small window to make your case. Given that you have the truth on your side, you have to inject yourself and disrupt the liars as they are lying. And, so I sent Ro Khanna as well a message. I said, while Ro Khanna did a good job defending Kamala Harris on Meet the Press with Christian Welker, they must learn from Senator Tom Cotton, the liar, defense of Trump. They must learn who turned every question into an attack on Harris. They must learn how to truthfully turn every question into an attack on Trump, because it would be justifiable and truthful. But you know what? Luckily, I decided to do the trifecta and watch all the three major news programs, ABC, NBC, and CNN. I didn't watch a CBS or Fox News. But my girl, Donna Brazile, she gave a clinic in how it's done. And she didn't even have a lot of opportunities to do it, but she used what opportunities she had to do it. And if more Democrats and truth tellers would go on national TV and do this, things would be better. Check this out, the way she handled it, and then we'll take it on the other side.
This is a candidate at the interview the other day that if it was the Olympics would win the Olympic gold medal in the flip-flop, but it's worse than that. It is a character issue when you have no explanation. Just wait a second. She is a person who voted for the Green New Deal, which would kill.
She didn't vote.
She is in favor of it. She would kill the price of gas in this country. She said that she was against fracking. She said that she would move money away from the police. And what was her answer? She said, well, I'm not going to do it. It's that character issue.
Run against Kamala Harris in 2019.
Who is Kamala Harris of 2024?
Her name is Kamala Harris, but I don't have to explain it. She's the vice president of the United States. Just understand that.
Right.
She say your name. Of course, I say it every week, and I'll just call you Mr. Chairman if I don't want to pronounce it right. But here's the point. She is running on more substance than Donald Trump ever understood. Donald Trump has had 5 different positions on abortion.
What substance is that?
Well, he's had five different positions on abortion over the last 5 days. And now he's saying he's for IVF when he doesn't even believe in it.
Please, not one Republican voted to hurt IVF.
Let me just say this, Reince. If you want to have a conversation about flip-flops.
Wait. All right. She is the arsonist who sets the fire. No, I'm
Donald listening to you because I'm praying for him not to talk in your ear right.
Okay, let me get somebody who can kind of put some light on this. Vivian, you were just out with Trump on Friday at the rally. He has done some pretty spectacular changes just this week on the issue of abortion.
That's right. Earlier this week, he gave an interview where he said that he was going to support government funding of IVF, something that sent shockwaves through his party. You heard Lindsey Graham earlier today, really not on board with something like that. A number of Republicans not supportive of that. But then he also came out later in the week and said that he would not support a rollback of Florida's potential mandate to roll back the 6-week limits on abortion. And so
he took both positions on that.
He took both positions. Before that, he said that he thinks 6 weeks is too short, but he said he would not support rolling back the 6 weeks. And so a number of policies, Donna was saying 5 policies in 5 days.
And Rick, this the abortion back and forth, Republicans have gotten used to this with Donald Trump, but it seemed to unsettle Republicans this week.
Yeah, it's almost a rinse and repeat with Donald Trump. You know that he's going to have a position that's going to outrage some people on the right, and there's some walking back and some apologizing about it, but you're right. Prominent conservative voices saying, wait a second, this is not what we supported. Donald Trump came out in favor of more abortions in Florida for women to have more access to abortions at later stages of their pregnancy. And yeah, he had to have a different position on the specifics of the Florida law that he is a Florida voter.
He's going to
have a chance to vote on in
the beginning of the week. He said he was going to vote for or suggested he was going to vote for this amendment, and then the blowback. Now he's going to vote against it.
That's right. When he's talking about his administration as being something that's going to be great for reproductive rights, that is like that rings a really weird sound in a lot of conservative ears, and they're willing to tolerate some of it. But he knows, as he does in a lot of his actions, how much he has riding on his own base, and even as he tries to soften some of the edges, that is a real problem for him.
So yes, Donna Brazile started it. She put Reince Priebus, a former chair of the Republican Party, on the spot. But she didn't only put him on the spot, but she directed the discussion so that the host had to take it from the point of view of Donna Brazile, because it changed the concept from flip-flopping on Harris to the concept of flip-flopping on abortion. Because if Donna Brazile had not interjected herself there, what would have happened if they would have continued on the fracking discussion? But she got Reince Priebus so upset on trying to defend Trump then, not on the abortion issue, that the host picked that up and then moved on to the other people to further discuss that. That is how it's done. And very few Democrats go on TV and direct the message. They allow the Republicans to direct where the host is going to be going. And what Donna did here is she directed the discussion on what need to be touched on. It changed immediately from defending Kamala Harris on fracking to Trump being placed on the front line on abortion. That was a perfect way in which that is done. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.